Hello world, I'm coming to you live from my bedroom and I'm here to do Wentworth Season 2's Top 10 Moments. So Season 2 of Wentworth is when we were introduced to Joan Ferguson, we had the rise of B. Smith, and we had just like a fucking ton of great moments. So moment number 10 is at the very start of Season 2, and that is Joan Ferguson's arrival. She's getting ready. You see her preparing herself, putting on her jacket, slicking back her bun. The whole time you hear like this speech that's being given from her to the staff. You know what I'm saying? And she's letting them know, I didn't come to play no games. Okay? I came to correct. And that's the bottom line here. So while she's giving that speech, you see Sky and Frankie's girls, and they're in the process of smuggling in some paraphernalia to the prison, right? So then what happens? Sky is wheeling her little fucking ass into the laundry to give the goods to Frankie, and she is intercepted by Joan Ferguson. She flips over the damn laundry cart, she finds the goods, she drags off Sky kicking and screaming, and Frankie demands to know, bitch, who the fuck are you? And Joan Ferguson turns around and she tells her, I'm Joan Ferguson, but you could call me governor. And Frankie had a twinge of like, oh shit, in her face, because she was like, oh my god, this bitch did not come to play. She knew in that moment that Joan Ferguson was the truth, and she was going to have a hard time bringing in this type of paraphernalia moving forward. So that was the very first moment. They started off the season with a fucking best moment, letting the women and the viewers know she wasn't playing no games. Moment number 9. So again, these moments are not in any particular order as far as how they happened on the show. I'm just fucking telling you how I think they are in order as far as 1 to 10. 1 being the best moment. So moment number 9 is the moment where Liz, when she fucking pulls out the steak knife on that fucking nasty ass dude and warns him that she will do terrible things to him with that steak knife if he ever gets in her face or in the face of anyone else in that damn halfway house again. So what happened? Liz was released from prison. She was sent to that home, that halfway house. So Liz goes out to follow her daughter. She goes to a steakhouse and has a juicy steak. They give her a steak knife. She takes this steak knife and she steals it, okay? So then she's coming back home. She's late. She missed curfew and the guy is there to let her know. So he slams her up against the wall and he's like talking his shit. And so next thing you know, he feels something in his gut. It was the knife. She pulled out her fucking steak knife. She pointed it right at his gut and she tells him, back the fuck up, porque aquí mismo te mato. And she told him, you better leave me the fuck alone and never come at me crazy again, and you better leave everybody else the fuck alone too. And as he's going up the stairs, she insists that he have a shower because he stinks. And so that was it. And then she looks around, she wipes off her knife. There was nothing on the knife. I found that part so funny. I was like, you didn't stab him. There was no blood. She goes into her room and that was it. And I thought it was a great moment because up until that moment, I don't think we had seen the badass in Elizabeth Birdsworth. She was like the older mother figure and she was the one that you felt you needed to protect. You know what I'm saying? You never thought of her as the type that could fend for herself. But in that scene, we saw that she could fend for herself. Moment number 8 is the moment in which our beloved B. Smith sets up Braden so that she could kill him on the visitor's floor. Things go wrong. So what happens? She tells that fucking bitch, Simo,
I've written Braden Holtz a letter to apologize to him for slaughtering his mother with a pen.
And Simo's like, all right, I'll give it to him. So B. Smith calls her lawyer. So her lawyer could come in for a visit on the same day that Simo is coming in for a visit with Braden. Very calculating, this B. Smith was. So what happens? She's in the fucking room with her lawyer. She's looking around like, hurry up, Simo. Where the fuck are you? So Simo arrives on the visitor's floor. She sees Braden. She gives him the fucking letter. He's reading the letter. He's looking confused like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And B, her lawyer's talking to her, but she's not listening. She's not listening, okay? She has her hands under the table. She's pulling out the fucking shiv. And then she just looks at her lawyer and I'm out. I got things to do. And she runs out of the fucking room and goes straight towards Braden. Braden looks up from reading his letter and looks at her like, oh shit. And she was like, this is for Debbie. And she swings the blade at him. And I know, we all know, she was trying to cut his throat. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she wasn't trying to like just slash him in the face. I'm sure she was hoping that she would just slice his throat Just like that, one time real quick, on the VI floor in front of everyone. That doesn't happen. Why? Because he backs up. She catches him on the cheek. He falls to the floor. She jumps on top of him. And now she's trying to fucking stab him and slice him up. Needless to say, she doesn't kill him, but she goes into a rage. She was like a fucking wild animal on that VI floor trying to attack him. So they get her off of him. She starts spitting at him, and he looks at her with this look of utter disgust, like, bitch, ew, what the fuck? The look on his face cracks me up every time, because he literally looks at her like, ew, bitch, nasty. Like, never mind that you sliced my face and you're gonna spit at me. You know how gross that is? And then he walks out, so she's there like fuming and foaming out the mouth and shit. I mean, not literally, but she might as well have been. And then he walks out and he gives her this look. This smug son of a bitch, boy. He gives her that look like, yeah, bitch, you didn't get to kill me, ha ha, but your daughter's dead. Let me tell you something. Braden had a lot of fucking nerve. For someone who seemed like he did the things that he did because he was forced because of his mother, once she was dead and she was no longer an influence in his life, he was still a fucking piece of shit, okay? Because that look told me everything I needed to know about Braden Holtz. Moment number 7. Moment number 7 is one of the fucking funniest / fucked up things that happened in season 2, and it was the birth of Vinegar Tits, okay? So, poor Vera, you know, poor fucking Vera. So what happens? Vera is minding her own business. She's in the bathroom. She's taking a shit. She's peeing. I don't know what the fuck she was doing in there, okay? When all of a sudden, the fucking alarms ring because Frankie, Boomer, and the rest of her crew, they set up this elaborate plan to embarrass Fletcher, okay? Because he's an asshole. He did some shit to Frankie. He tried to assert his authority. He choked the bitch out in her cell. She wasn't having it. She wanted retaliation. So they set him up to be embarrassed in front of the whole prison, which I thought was dumb. So, fine. He slips and he falls. Big deal. The panic button is pressed, but instead of fucking Fletcher showing up to the kitchen, Vera gets there first. So Vera walks right into the damn vinegar trap, and she slips. She slips on the fucking vinegar. She falls and she busts her ass. She hurts her wrist, okay? She hurt her wrist. And she looks up and she sees Boomer, who had nothing but jokes on the fact that she slipped in vinegar. So Vera is trying for dear life to get up from the vinegar. First of all, how the fuck is vinegar so slippery? I'm not buying that the vinegar was slippery. They had to use the vinegar because I'm assuming that in Prisoner Cell Block H, there was a reference to her having vinegar tits. I don't know what the story is in Prisoner Cell Block H, but I'm assuming they wanted to bring vinegar tits into Wentworth, and so this is the way that they did it. And you know what's funny is that Boomer grabbed the fucking sunflower oil. She had like a jug of oil first. Why would she change her mind and choose the vinegar? But again, it had to be done, okay? Because Vera had to be crowned vinegar tits one way or the other. The bitch is slipping and falling over and over again on this fucking non-slippery vinegar. At one point, she's splayed out, looking kind of sexy on the floor with her thigh. I was like, okay, Vera, that's the position that you're gonna stay in for a little while. I can't understand. The whole scene was just so funny to me. And then you see Boomer cracking the fuck up. And she's like, oh, your vinegar tits, because your tits are full of vinegar. And I'm like, oh, boy, poor Vera. She gets up, she walks out looking like a traumatized mess. And that was the birth of Vinegar Tits. Moment number 6 is following this event, okay? So several things happened after Vera was crowned Vinegar Tits. But for me, this is one of the best moments. Like, she goes on to stop and escape. She kills her mother in cold blood, okay? I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I say this all the time because like people try to defend Vera for killing her mom because her mom was a bitch. That's no excuse to kill your mother. I don't know what it's like to have a bitch for a mom because my mom is the best, okay? But like, I get it. There's people out there whose mothers are probably bitches. I've seen them, right? Okay, fine. But that's still no excuse to kill them. I don't give a fuck if her mother was on her deathbed. The bitch should have been punished, which is kind of low-key why I sent her to prison. In my fucking fanfiction, she needed to pay for her sins. What is this moment? This is the moment when the prisoners see this new, badass, transformed Vera. So Vera, we see her in her house. She's tossing all of the shit from her mother's, you know, funeral, her wake, what have you. And then she's got the slicked back bun. She's looking at herself in the mirror like, yeah, I'm that bitch. I'm coming in hot to the prison today. And so she's walking in the prison. So we see her heels. She's walking down the halls. Boomer and Sky are standing in the fucking halls, right? And there's like some trash on the ground, like a wrapper of some sort. I don't know what the fuck that was. Tissue, whatever the fuck it was. It's on the floor. Boomer and Sky, they're just fucking standing there, ha ha ha, and there's trash on the floor, right? You don't see that shit? This is what Vera's thinking. So she walks past them. They're looking at her because in their mind they're like, oh shit, this bitch looks a little different. You know what I'm saying? This isn't the Vinegar tits that we saw doing the walk of shame out of the cafeteria. So they're looking at her like, oh shit. And Vera stops in her tracks and she looks at them and she's like, pick it up. No, actually, I think she walks by them. She doesn't even look at them and she says, pick it up. So they don't respond. Like, they're just looking at her like, bitch, what? Pick what up? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she turns around and she gives them these eyes. She doesn't say one word. Sky looks at her like, oh shit, this bitch ain't playing, right? She bends down, she picks up the fucking trash. Vera walks away and Sky mumbles under her breath. She's like, Vinegar tits. It was funny. I thought it was a great moment because it let us as viewers know that from now on, we were going to be seeing a whole different side of little Miss Vera Bennett. Moment number 5. It's the moment that Maxine saves B in the showers from getting shivved and shanked. The bitch is washing her ass and us as viewers are seeing pieces of like cotton or whatever the fuck that shit was. Material of some sort going down the drain. And then we see it. We see the big ass cast is on the floor, which means it's not on this bitch's leg. Up until that point, it was a mystery. Like, these 3 new inmates came in. Maxie, Jess, this bitch with the cast. It was like a mystery. Like, which one of these women was sent here to kill our beloved B. Smith, right? So in that moment, we found out it was her. Next thing you know, this bitch attacks B. Smith. She has a fucking weapon in hand. She opens the shower curtain and she swings it at B, slashing her in the arm. So now B. Smith is fighting for her life, okay? In the shower, they're wet, they're slippery. So B. Smith is biting the bitch. They end up on the ground, and now the woman is there with the knife at B's face, and that's it. I said, oh my God, she's going to kill her because how the fuck is B. Smith going to survive this? Next thing you know, we see a hand grab that bitch by the greñas, pulls her back, bloop, and she punches her right in the fucking face. And it's Maxine. It's Maxine who punched this assassin. It was a great moment because nobody wants B. Smith to die. She's been through so much. Let the bitch live. Moment number 4 is, this is one of the best moments in Wentworth history. This is the fight between B. Smith and Frankie Doyle in the laundry. Their fight for top dog. Yo, B. Smith was ready. She was ready. She was taking those fucking blood clot medications to make her blood thicker so that she wouldn't bleed out in the event that Frankie stabbed her up, right? She had magazines as padding in the front, in the back, ready for those stabs. And they're fighting for the position of top dog. And B. Smith wasn't the best fighter in this scene, but she held her own. These bitches was just fighting. And Frankie was no joke. I couldn't believe how Frankie just immediately went in for the bloop. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh my God, not even gonna hit her first? You're just gonna go right in. That happened. They're fighting. B. Smith gets slashed in the forehead. She rams Frankie into a dryer at one point and the whole dryer door falls in on itself. These bitches were going hard. Next thing you know, B. Smith overpowers Frankie. She's on top of her and she starts hitting her. She takes Frankie's shiv, she puts it to her throat, and she tells her, are you done? Let the women know that you've lost and you give up. And poor Frankie, man, she didn't want to. She didn't want to, but she was forced, because if not, this bitch was going to cut her throat. I believe she would have done it. That was a great moment. That was like the first real fight that we got to see in Wentworth. Fine. We saw the riot in season 1, right? But that was like nothing compared to this. It was nothing compared to the tension that we felt as viewers in that laundry room. It was a great scene, and it was a great first real one-on-one battle that we got to see between 2 fucking great characters. It was just so good. Moment number 3 is the moment in which B. Smith escapes from that hospital. So up until this point, we had seen the fight. B. Smith is sent to the hospital. She's not restrained because of her slashings on the wrist. She requests that Mr. Jackson get her a lemonade. So he goes to get her the damn beverage, and in that time, she steals some clothes and she fucking breaks out. And I'm like, oh my God, this bitch is about to escape the hospital? she sure enough was. She walks out the front door and she's outside in fresh air. And I saw the security guard in front of her and I'm like, oh, he's sick. He's been waiting for her out there to come out because they already know that she's broken free, right? No, that's not what happened. He was just smoking a damn cigarette. He didn't give two fucks about B. Smith. So she walks out and she walks into the darkness, into the night. And I'm like, oh my God, she escaped. And I was just like, wow. I was shocked and amazed that that's what happened. It all came together, her plot and everything that she had done in the moment where she walked out of the damn fucking hospital. When I tell you, I had no clue that this bitch was trying to escape the hospital. I felt so dumb at one point, like, damn, bitch. Like, watching it now, it's obvious that that's what she was trying to do. Like, it's really clear that's what she was trying to do. But you know what? If you didn't catch it, don't feel dumb. Don't let the people make you feel dumb because you didn't catch it. Because I feel like motherfuckers be trying to make me feel dumb because I didn't notice that part. But it's fine. It's fine. It just made it all the greater, you know? Because I gasped. I was like, oh, shit. That's what she was trying to do. Escape the prison so she could kill Braden. Which leads me to moment number 2. And that moment is the moment that B. Smith kills Braden. So she goes through it, man. She breaks out of the prison. She gets her gun from fucking Lizzie. And then she makes it to the garage, the car garage where Braden hangs out. She breaks in through his window and then she comes at him. She tells the girl that's with him, get the fuck out, you know what I'm saying, and never come back. And she gives Braden an ultimatum. You're gonna give yourself a hot shot the same way that you hot shotted my daughter. Or I'm gonna blow your brains out. And then he's like, I can't do it. I can't do it because I'm a pussy ass motherfucker. I was able to do it to your daughter and kill her, but I can't kill myself. You're gonna have to blow my brains out. She's like, I'm not playing no games with you, motherfucker. So he's like, don't kill me. She's there with the gun. She's contemplating whether or not she should kill him. She's like having problems with pulling the trigger. Will Jackson comes in and he's like, B, don't do it. You don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Just put the gun down. She's conflicted in this moment. She's looking at Braden like this is a kid just like Debbie was a kid, and I'm about to kill him. In the end, Will Jackson convinces her to put down her weapon. Then he tells Braden, get up and get the fuck out of here, okay? Braden gets up, and this is where this smug son of a bitch made an error, okay? A grave one. He gets up, and he's walking out of this room. He's almost out of there. Well, he's not almost out of there, but he's like walking out of the room, and then he just couldn't fucking help himself because he's a fucking smug son of a bitch. He looks at B. Smith, and I'm telling you, I've said this before. If you blink your eyes, you'll miss this part. But his face changes, and he smirks at her. Like, yeah, bitch, you didn't have the fucking balls to shoot me, and now I'm gonna walk out of here, and your fucking ass is going back to rot in jail. That's what he told her with his eyes, okay? And that smirk. And B. Smith was like, oh, word, bloop, and she fucking shoots him. Right in the face, right in the temple, right in the forehead, wherever the fuck the bullet was. And you see his brains splatter on the wall, and then he falls back onto the chair, and then she sits down, and she's like, take me back to prison now. My work here is done. And so now, the top moment in Wentworth Season 2, the number 1 moment, is the moment when B. Smith is crowned Queen Bee, the top dog of the prison. The bitch comes back to jail after committing this murder, right? And she goes into H1. But as she's walking with Vera, being escorted back into H1, which, by the way, did you guys know that in Season 1 and Season 2, I don't know which season they introduced it in, but I do know that in Season 1 and Season 2, the girls, they weren't in H1. Their unit was not H1. Their unit was H2. I don't know when they did the change to make their unit H1. Was it Season 4 when they came back and the prison was different? Or was it Season 3? I don't know. It might have been Season 4 that they changed it to H. I'm assuming it was Season 4 because that's when they came back after the fire. And so maybe that's when they were in H1. I don't know. But I was like, oh shit, they weren't in H1 from jump? Apparently not. They weren't. They were in H2. Who knew? I didn't know. That's a fun fact. Okay, anyway, so the bitch comes back into H2. And so everyone's looking at her because they know what she's done. They know that she broke out. They know that she killed Braden. So they're all looking like scared and confused. And then Frankie comes out. And she looks at B. She looks at the women. And she's like, this is Queen B. She's the top dog now. And then she starts doing that slow ass, whack ass clap that I couldn't get behind. I'm like, who claps that slow? Nobody. That's not how people clap. They're all doing the slow ass clap. They're all looking incredibly confused, especially Boomer. And then Frankie tells her, they're all yours. Bitch, have fun. And B. Smith is just looking around and she walks away, and it was great. It was a great end to a great season. What are your favorite moments? Were there any moments that I didn't include in this video that you thought were worthy of being in the top 10 best moments list? If so, let me know in the comments down yonder. So that was it, world. That was Wentworth Season 2's top 10 moments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like my shit. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not yet already. And if you do subscribe, turn on the damn post notification bells so you can be alerted when I post videos in the future. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.